Let's start with Grasshopper. To begin Grasshopper, we are going to click on the Launch Grasshopper icon available on the Standard tab of Rhino 6. When we begin Grasshopper, you see the build. When Grasshopper opens, you see the recent files that you had created or opened first. To begin a new file, simply click and drag any component onto the screen. This screen contains the canvas. The canvas is the place you are going to be creating the script. In your menu bar, you have standard file, edit, view, display, help buttons. These are your main tabs. Params, maths, sets, vector, curve, surface, mesh, intersect, transform and display are a standard set of tabs available in all Grasshopper. Honeybee, Ladybug, Paneling Tools, Kangaroo, ClayU, V-Ray have been added as plugins to Grasshopper. Each tab contains certain icons. If you go to something like a surface, primitive, you can see that there is a cone. If I bring the cone onto the screen, when I change the sizing of the Grasshopper panel, you'll see that this cone is reflected on the screen of Rhino. If I do not select the object, it comes red in color. If I select the object, it becomes green in color. All these definitions are available here on this bar. You have the open, save, sizing, saving named views, and also creating a sketch object just for notification, and you can obviously cancel it. Next you have things like preview geometry. If I say don't draw any preview geometry, you will not see it in Rhino. If I say see it but show me only as wireframe, it will be seen in this fashion. Whereas if I say draw shaded, it's going to be the regular mesh that I can see. The next one here is if I want to see the preview of only the selected geometry. So if I select the component, only then I can see it, else I will not be able to see it. Next one is preview settings. This is where I may be able to change the red and green color of selection and no selection. And finally you have preview mesh quality. I'm going to stick to low quality for the moment, but obviously you can change it as per your requirements. Low quality is convenient for fast and coarse previewing. The last part over here is the status bar. It tells you which version you are working on. It tells you when was the last save and also tells you the last few commands used. This is the overall interface of Grasshopper. Now let's understand what are the objects that I have been pulling from the screen or selecting in the tab and clicking on the canvas. There are two main objects out here. One is called the params and one is called the components. Params are of different types. You have geometry, primitive, input and util. Let's take simple examples first. If I take a param called curve, you will see that it doesn't have any object currently associated with it. If I right click, I can set a curve from Rhino. So I'll have to click on a curve, select set one curve, select the object, and now this curve is embedded into the object. Let me clear the value and you will see that this has now become orange in color. Basically, this param is an object which only takes data and gives it ahead. On the other hand, if you choose any component, For example, if I choose a component called circle from curve primitive, you will find that it has a couple of inputs, and on processing it gives an output. It is important to note that a param only takes data and forwards it, whereas a component takes inputs and processes them to give an output. So this uses your input, processing, output. A component will process items. A param, on the other hand, will just take information and pass it ahead. So for example, if in the params I go and choose just a point, this point is right now not available. It doesn't have any information. I right click, I'll say set one point. I'm clicking a point in Rhino. At this point, if I feed in as information to the circle, it will give me a circle around that point. Here the point becomes a param, whereas this is a component. Param is very similar to giving an information as a parameter. Let us now look at what are color codings. I have different kinds of colors that are available as color coding in Grasshopper. The first one, as you can see over here, is an orange colored item. Orange color denotes that it does not have any information yet. As you can read, it is saying empty curve parameter. Because the information is not available, the parameter cannot pass information ahead, and hence it is showing orange color. This point, on the other hand, has some information which we had given, which is why it is in light grey color. This light grey color denotes a stable object. So it could be a component or it could be a param. If on the other hand I had gone to curves, primitives, and I had chosen a circle, tangent, tangent, where I haven't input any information, it is going to stay orange in color. On the other hand, although I haven't given any information to this circle, by default the P has a value of world XY plane, whereas R has a value of 1, which Grasshopper has defined, or rather predefined, which is why this is a stable component. So we saw two colors, orange and light green. If I select a component, it becomes greenish in color, not only in Rhino but also on the canvas in Grasshopper.